Hey you guys, it's Monday night and that means it's time for Let's Talk About. Let me ask you a question. Tonight, well actually it's more a statement. Tonight we're going to talk about something which will solve more problems in your life than you can possibly imagine. It'll stop things like saying dumb things, doing dumb things, getting into fights, getting into arguments, getting lost, making incredible mistakes. Do you know what it is?
Sounds amazing.
It's not killing your partner.
I was thinking about the getting lost one, that you should just let me drive because.
But seriously, what's the biggest problem that we have as human beings? We see it at the major level, we see it at the small level. What do you think it is? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's just our foolish pride.
Ego.
It is, ego and pride. And just think about your own life for a second. Think how many times have you stuffed things up or caused problems and it was your pride. You just didn't want to admit that you're wrong or be wrong or ask for help or whatever the dumb thing is that we do. And I'm talking to myself here because our pride gets in the way so often. And what's the cure for pride? One word.
Humility.
I'm glad you got that because otherwise I would have been really worried. But it's true, humility, just being humble and not having to be the right all the time. So talk to us about humility.
I didn't buy humility for a long time. I didn't need it.
Yeah.
I'm quite a humble person.
I was going to say, well...
Most of us think we are.
Yeah, I'm the most humble person I know, without a doubt. But yeah.
So... like all the essential oil blends, they have a story. And the reason that Gary Young actually created this particular oil blend, Humility...
It was for Mary?
No. Mary definitely doesn't need it. She is such a humble person.
She is such a humble person.
If you've ever heard her speak, you would know that. Yeah. But... so Gary Young was actually studying at a university in Jerusalem, a Hebrew university, but it's the Brigham Young campus, so BYU, and he was studying there and naturopathy and also, researching about oils and things like that. And what happened was he was staying in a hotel and there'd been some terrorist activity, like there often is in Jerusalem. And when he went back to his hotel at night, there was a knock on the door late at night. I think it was about like 2 a.m. in the morning or something. And basically the hotel owner removed Gary from the hotel and said that you can't stay here. And Gary was all confused, like, I don't know what's going on. And anyway, so he actually went and found a taxi, and the taxi took him to another hotel, and still the other hotel wouldn't let him in either. And
because the hotel owner had been ringing everyone around.
Yeah, the hotel owner actually rang other hotels in the local area and said, don't let this guy in. And eventually he got into the third hotel and he asked the guy, like, I'm having real trouble getting a hotel. Like, what's wrong here? And the hotel owner actually said to him, it's because you're Christian and because of the, the problems that were happening in Jerusalem at the time. Some people were very anti-Christian, and so they didn't want him staying at the hotel. And so the one word that kept popping into Gary's mind was actually humility. And it was about being able to see things from other people's perspectives. And I don't know if you've ever traveled overseas, but one of the things that, the first country that I went to overseas was actually to Egypt. And I went during Ramadan. It was an amazing time, big cultural shock to a young, I don't know, I was like 20 or something when I went. Yeah, blonde. I had to cover my hair, it was very, very full on. And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned from that very first trip was humility and learning to see things from other people's perspectives. Yeah. The killing the goats in the street, the fact that you can't eat during the day and drink during the day. And I'd be like, but I'm not Muslim, but I'm in their country. And that was the thing that Gary really realized when he was studying in Jerusalem, was that he's in someone else's country and he needs to follow their rules. And so the one word that kept coming to him was humility. So that's why he created this blend, to help us all to be able to see things from other people's perspectives.
Yeah, and that's such a handy thing at the moment. This smells awesome. Can I tell people what's in it? I've got the list up here.
Yep, sure. Do you want me to tell you sort of why it's in a burger?
Yeah. Okay, so coriander. So let's just say when Gary puts stuff together, he's always got a mix, doesn't he? So there's normally some herby, spicy things. There's normally some kind of citrus in there. There's normally some flowers, and there's normally some big trees. And which is interesting because if you're making perfume, he's got top notes, middle notes, and base notes as well. So but okay, so coriander.
All right, so some of these oils weren't in the original blend. So the original blend actually had rosewood in it. Now, if you've heard me talk about rosewood before, you would actually remember that Young Living doesn't sell rosewood anymore because they can't source it sustainably. So they've taken rosewood out of a lot of their blends. I think this one had galbanum in it as well. So it now has other oils in it. But
so
the next one is ylang ylang. The reason why Gary liked ylang ylang, I mean, obviously it helps to balance the heart, and rose is in it also for the heart. And you can't be, understanding other people's perspectives or being humble unless you've got an open heart. But as far as ylang ylang goes, ylang ylang, it actually comes from the flowers, which are really quite soft, and it's the feminine energy. Now, in today's society, a lot of us come from a place of masculine energy, which is the doing energy. We're running around all the time like crazy people trying to get everything done, and we're not actually being very present. So ylang ylang, even though it comes from quite strong trees, but the oil itself is sourced from the flowers, which is the feminine energy. So ylang ylang is like the feminine energy. Nice. and being present, I guess.
Can we talk
Can't be humble if you're not present.
Can we talk about some of the other flowers? Because it's also got geranium in there. It's also got rose, you mentioned. Bergamot, yep. And is neroli a flower?
Yes, neroli,
Bit of orange is where it comes from, yeah. Okay. Yep. So it's got all those flowers. It's got Melissa in it.
Yes, and the thing about Melissa is obviously Melissa is lemon balm. It's really quite an expensive oil because it takes a lot of flowers to create one tiny little bottle of Melissa oil. But the thing about Melissa is it's a herb that grows very close to the ground, and it actually helps you to connect with Mother Earth and to nature. And so if you want to be more connected, you can't be humble and unless you're actually grounded and well connected, and Melissa is in this blend to help you connect.
Awesome. We've got frankincense and myrrh. So a couple of the oils of ancient scripture.
That were given to the Christ child, who was pretty humble.
He was very humble, yeah. And Northern Lights black spruce.
Yeah.
Big
and
tree.
vetiver. Yeah.
And vetiver, yeah.
Yeah. So vetiver is it's a grass. And Northern Lights black spruce is the one that grounds you, so there you go.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about this?
All right, as far as using it, now you can use it anywhere. It is an oil that you can, diffuse, you can use it anywhere. But Gary actually suggested the best place to use this oil was the back of your knees, because you are, on bended knee, you're fairly humble. So put on the back of your knees to learn to bend, to bow, to, be a servant, and that's the ultimate way to be humble. So that's just a little tip of another place. I mean, you could use it behind your ears, you can use it in your heart chakra, crown chakra, but it goes really well with some other oils as well, because you need acceptance to be humble, gratitude, and even surrender. So there's a couple of other oil blends that you can try using with it.
Yeah, and it's, unless you've got super sensitive skin, you don't need to dilute it, do you?
No.
But it is possibly photosensitive.
I
think.
Well,
I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah. Well, let me just say that the bergamot that is in this is actually furocoumarin free. So the reason why bergamot is one of the highest photosensitive oils, and if you want to learn more about photosensitive, go and watch our photosensitive video. Yep. Go on to our Hot Oily Mummy YouTube channel and you'll find, just search photosensitive and you'll find it, because bergamot is one of the highest photosensitive oils. But in this particular blend, just like in the seedlings baby blend, the chemical that actually causes our skin to burn, and that is the photosensitive bit, the furocoumarin, has actually been taken out of it in this. So even though it has the warning on there, because of the bergamot being in it, it is furocoumarin free.
Can you just say that one
No.
more time?
I wasn't going to talk. I forgot about that until you mentioned about it being photosensitive. So
yeah.
I didn't even write that down.
I just wanted you to say it.
Thanks.
Are you feeling more humility now?
Yeah. I'm definitely humble. I dug a trench today, and then Jeremy had to finish it off because we were totally like going to flood out the front of our house.
I just did a tiny bit at the end.
Yeah, right. I know, he did a lot. But I got out there in the pouring rain and dug a trench. I mean, you can't be much more humble than that.
That is very humble.
Yeah.
Good on you. So, we love you guys. Couldn't recommend this one highly enough. If you've got it stashed away, then get it out and use it. If you haven't used it before or you haven't got it, definitely one to add to the oily collection and use it. It is beautiful.
Quite a spiritual oil.
It is. Yeah, you could use this for meditation for sure, but
yeah.
just for those times where, the ego's getting out of control, here's a way of putting it back in its box in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thanks,
See you
guys.